Hey everybody, it's Tejal here with season 2 of Moments of Clarity. Hey, and this season is lit, it's bigger, it's better, it's more organized, and yeah, welcome to today's conversation. Today we're going to talk about blended families, and I am so excited to talk about this topic because, hey Nene, that's my mama, y'all. Say hi to LMD Styles, that's my mama. But yeah, I'm so excited to talk about blended families. I'm especially excited to talk about, hey T. I'm especially excited to talk about blended families with Jamaal because he is just such an amazing partner to really do this with. And I feel like he is definitely the reason why our success rate is very high. I feel like we're going to be more than successful with the family that we build and create, and it's really a lot to do with his like stillness and calmness. Hey baby. And yeah, so he's going to come on, but I wanted to say something real quick because this was like running through my mind, and y'all know my goal in life is to like really just contribute in a great way to humankind and just really help us just love one another better and be better and all of that other jazz. But I was just thinking today, like, it's really important for us to be kind and to not judge people when they're like being themselves. You never know, what God is leading people to do. And so I really just want to share and just remind everyone to just be kind and try not to be judgy, and just really go within. And most of the time when we're judging others, it kind of says something about ourselves. So yeah, I just wanted to share that message. I felt like it was on my heart. Let's just be kind and not judge people and just really try our best to show up and help people show up as their best selves. Hey bestie. I almost brought Ashley on because she like in this blended family conversation too, but I had to be respectful of my honey because no, I'm just kidding. But anywho, okay. So I want to talk about the importance of this conversation and like why talking about blended families was important to me on this season of Moments of Clarity. I feel like I haven't really had much experience with blending families as far as like my family goes. I was raised in a nuclear family by my mom and my dad until I was about 12 years old, and then really didn't have to experience blending families until I was later an adult, and I really didn't have the best experience. I really am not having the best experience, and it is really pushing me to evaluate myself and how I show up for Jamaal and how I show up for his daughters and how I show up for Luke in this space where we're trying to create and build a whole new family. Hey y'all, thanks for joining. So, so Jamaal and I, we moved in together last year in April, and before we moved in together, we wanted to like read up on and look at resources on like how to do it successfully, because I have Luke and Jamaal has Jazz and Reagan. They're all younger. At the time, I think they were like between the ages of 5 and 8, and we just wanted to make sure everything was kosher. But we didn't really have anybody to talk to in the community. We didn't have anyone to really talk to and share with us like, this is how you do this. We didn't have anyone to give us any advice. We didn't see any examples that were like, I don't know if we didn't see any examples. I'm gonna ask Jamaal. I don't remember seeing any examples where I was like, that's a blended family that I want to be just like. But so then I started thinking like, dang, blended families is really a thing. Like, we talk about nuclear families and how to like salvage marriages and stuff like that, but we really don't talk about like what it takes to combine two different families and put them together. And so I thought it would be a great idea to talk about it because I feel like our generation, I definitely feel like a lot of us are able to like stay in nuclear families, but also a lot of us are blending families. And so I want to make sure there's a conversation about those people. So I have some rules because this is a community conversation. I want to make sure everyone has their I want to make sure everyone has like their time to speak. You can comment in the comments if you're feeling this conversation. Say what's on your mind. I'm all about honesty, transparency. Do what you got to do. You can come on after me and Jamal kind of have our conversation. It'll be about 10 minutes or so. And yeah, just have fun and say what's on your heart. I'll do my best to read the comments. The phone is further than I appear, or, you know, whatever, however that goes. But yeah, I really appreciate y'all showing up. I'm about to bring Jamal on. I'm excited about this conversation. It's very real and raw. And yeah, so let me bring my honey up, my sugar honey iced tea. Anyways, I hope y'all having a good day, a good week. This week has been very hectic for me. It's been very hectic. Luke has had 2 snow days, so I've had to try and work from home with him. And hey, honey,
Hey,
what's up?
hey, what's that?
I was just telling them about Luke's snow days this week. Just really messing up my schedule.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But you know, the week is still going. We're only halfway through, or about halfway through. So you know, there's still plenty of time to finish the week strong on a high note. So
Okay, this is why we're gonna be successful, y'all, because Jamal don't play. Hey, as I said, come through with the fresh cut.
hey, I had to get myself together this morning. Can't be on live with
Oh,
in
before
hot
we go,
mess.
babe, I want to say,
So
so y'all, the last episode of Moments of Clarity, the season premiere, reached 400 views. And so I just really want to say, like, shout out to us, shout out to community for like really being down with like transparent conversations. Um, because that means 400 people watched, 400 people, you know, was interested in the conversation, whether you like watched it to be interested or watched it to be nosy and annoying. We got to 400 views, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's the highest views of a live that I've ever had. So I appreciate y'all. And I don't know, it's not small to me. That's really huge because y'all all know that like journalism and media personality stuff is what I want to do, what I am doing. And so thank you for contributing to that. Period.
hey,
Okay, baby, how you
shout out to the
feeling?
community. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know, fresh cut, have me feeling like a new man. You know, but it's been a good day. It's been a good day. Solid Wednesday. Got some things done. Made a sale. Sold a piece of artwork today. So that's always a plus,
Yeah,
you know.
I've been selling stuff a lot lately. You've been selling stuff a lot, but like it's been really consistent. And like today, I just stopped, or was that yesterday? And I was like, babe, like we need to celebrate. I feel like this is happening and we're just moving on. Like we really need to celebrate. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find some time in the next few days or so
Mm-hmm.
in our busy
All
schedule.
right,
But
so let's get into it. If you ready, you
yeah,
ready? All right.
yes, I am.
So last night we talked about this conversation and how we wanted to present it to you all. And basically we came up with like 3 different segments that we're going to go into. And it's pretty much like things we wish we would have known, challenges, and then the positives, right?
I mean, we can definitely touch on things we wish we would have known. There's more so like what's working for us um, within our situation of blending families. But it's also important. Things that we wish we would have known is would definitely be ideal. But yeah, I think it's very important to discuss some of the things that are working for us. Just just speaking from real life experience that someone else may be able to utilize. And so yeah, I would like to
Start
start there
where?
if you don't mind
Okay, great.
with
Go
what's
ahead,
working
baby.
for
Start
us.
that one.
All right, so there's a few notions in my mind that I think are very important. There, I would say like the main things that I keep coming back to when I think about what's like absolutely necessary to make our blended family work. And the first um, thing I would like to bring up is just the idea of you and I working as a team. I feel like within this blended family, it all starts and stops with us. I feel like if we both are being intentional, if we are both moving in sync, if we are both, displaying a healthy relationship and being happy, I feel like that energy will be picked up by the children and hopefully translate, to them in some way, shape, or form, and hopefully be something that can help, what's the word? I guess something that can help build trust um, with them. Like the way that my girls see you and the way Luke sees me and the way they see us treat each other and things of that nature. I feel like that is just like the bare minimum, right? I feel like if you and I can be in sync, if we can be on the same page and move as one, then everything else becomes a lot easier. Um, so yes, us two working as a team, teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. As cliche as it is, it really does make the dream work. Um, yeah, it's
Not going.
corny, I know,
It's true.
but but yeah, but that's number one for me. I think
Wait a
number
second.
two. Let
You
me double
gotta
check
let
my
me
notes
go,
here.
babe. It's supposed to be back for.
Yeah, my bad,
All
my bad. Go
right.
ahead, go ahead.
For me, what I think works for us is teamwork. No, I'm kidding. No, what I think works for us is just that we like each other. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's like the foundation. And so we really enjoy being around each other. The chemistry is just oh so hot and it's just really compatible. And I feel like that energy kind of sets the foundation for everything else. Um, and I don't know, I treat you with respect. I treat you with respect. You treat me with respect. And I think about that a lot, like how spouses talk to their spouse in front of their kids in blended families. Like that's really important. So one thing that was really important for me was to make sure that I was like, I mean, I'm always respectful for towards you because like number one, you don't play that. Number two, like I just respect you in general. But like I am extra respectful in front of the kids because I'm like, if we being honest, like I'm not the girl's mom. And so if they see me, talking to you crazy or being disrespectful, I don't know, that doesn't help our relationship, you know? And then if Luke sees that, that doesn't help your relationship with Luke. You know what I'm saying? So that's mine.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that respect factor, it's another one of those things that trickles down to the children as well. To not only, preach the idea of respecting everyone, but, to have these examples that they can abide by is it's definitely legit. Legit, legit, legit. Yeah, it was great. It's great, Milan. Um, so another um, thing that I wanted to bring up in terms of what I think is working really well for us is the intentionality behind um, how we go about trying to develop bonds with our children, with Luke and myself, and with you and Reagan and Jazz. I do feel like there's a bit more of a challenge there for you with there being multiple children, multiple personalities to try to, find a way to mesh with in some way, shape, or form, trying to find that common ground and establish and solidify that bond and that sense of trust. Um, with Luke, I feel like it's been a pretty smooth ride up until this point. One, just because he is a little younger than my girls, I feel like, and this is based on what I'm seeing and in my own experiences growing up, I feel like the younger you are, the easier it is to um, sort of take that time to
Mm-hmm.
adjust to this kind of situation. Um, and then Luke is also just super friendly, super open, high energy, always positive. So, Luke makes it very easy to, have certain conversations and uh, hone in on his interests. It's, superheroes and play fighting and I mean, I guess those are the main two. But so like, if you can, if you can talk superheroes with Luke and watch a superhero movie or a TV show or play fight with them, wrestle with them, you're pretty okay in his book. So he makes it pretty easy for me in that regard. In terms of us being able to establish a bond, and then I think also it is really easy for him to see me as an authority figure. Um, like especially in those moments where I do have to be stern or where I do have to, have a conversation with him, whether it's about, just behavior or, rules around the house or whatever it may be. I feel like that is something that helps make it a little easier for me as well. But, but again, just being intentional about, seeking out those bonds I think is just another thing overall that's very important in terms of trying to blend a family. And as I, turn it over to you, I do feel like that is something that you do a pretty good job of as well. I look at, how you speak to the girls. You do a really good job of inquiring about even just, asking how their day went, how was
Right.
school, how was daycare. They have an older sister. How is their older sister doing? And just kind of engaging them in those kinds of conversations that just show that you care. So I just wanted to make a note of that as I
Because I
turn the
do
conversation back
care.
over to you.
I really do. Um, okay, let me read these comments, then I'm going to share my stuff. Teamwork and respect are great foundation
Hmm.
points. Thank you, Mama. Um, I see a lot of that's very important. Definitely speak on what y'all feel. What's y'all's experience? Has anyone in here been a part of a blended family, or is anyone blending a family right now? The stats that I looked up, it says that 40% of Americans are in blended families. So that's a really high number. And honestly, I never saw myself in a
Sheesh.
blended family. Like, I like after everything didn't work out with Luke's father, I literally was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just gonna like date. And like, I just never saw my partner with kids. And then like when I met you, I was just like, okay, two girls. Like, I even told you, I was like, well, my goal is 5 kids. So like, that's what's up. We're just gonna add them to the count. Um, but did you see yourself blending a family, hunt? Well, I think it's considered a blended family even when the other person doesn't have kids. So I don't know. I-
Yeah. Well. um, I would say that the idea of a blended family started to become a reality for me. I would say in my early 20s. Um, I mean, as I said already, my girls, they do have an older sister. I was with their mother when their older sister was like a year and a half. Um, and so when I think about how I felt back then at like 20, um, I I was really just going with the flow. I hadn't really formulated any thoughts about it. I was just like, oh, okay, I've been seeing this woman. She has a child. Like, okay, we're just gonna doing this thing, which is a huge contrast into how I look at it now, and over the past year and a half, almost 2 years or so, and just really understanding the importance of being intentional about it. Um, but
I'm just
yeah,
I just want to
I'm
read the
sorry, go ahead.
comments.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Someone said, yes, kids are very observant of how their parents are treated. It impacts how they feel about themselves and how they treat others, as well as influence their future relationships. Ashley said, I was in a blended family growing up, and it was gross, to be honest. I'm weak. Ashley, why was it gross? Help me. I'm interested in being a bonus mom, but I'm a little nervous about it now more than I was previously. Um, yeah, I think respect is important. And I think when we talk about blended families, we kind of think about like blending families with children, but I think it's important to talk about blending families with adults. Like a lot of these points go towards relationships where maybe the children are adults, because I feel like that point gets missed. I feel like a lot of maybe people feel like they don't have to be intentional about when they blend a family. And so I really think it's important for these tips to touch all ages and all families. So yeah, that's my point. My stepmom was manipulative. Oh wow, that's deep. That's a deep, deep, deep comment. Um,
I'm not laughing at that.
hey
I'm
y'all,
laughing at
I
the next comment.
went to the date and prom. Wow. Ashley, what did those manipulative characteristics look like? I'm very curious. Oh, I would love to go to prom though. Babe, will you go to prom with me? Okay.
Yeah, sure, let's do
Okay.
that.
So do we already do our second thing for are we do we already do our second thing?
I didn't. I guess what you just mentioned could be kind of as your second one with the idea of what we're talking about applying to all
Yeah.
ages and not just young children. I think that's a really good one. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, I guess another thing that I think is pretty important and also just is working for us as well is just acknowledging the challenges. Um, I'm really big on trying to um, have a good amount of foresight in terms of what could like potentially go wrong and what problems could potentially arise, um, and what I could do to try to solve them and work through them as best I can, just so that I'm not like like stuck or frozen in the moment, right? Um, but I think we both have been really, really good about it, acknowledging any potential challenges or issues before we moved in together, and then even now, as we approach this 1 year mark, and have started to see and notice other things. Um, and I think that we're really good about communicating those challenges and doing what we can to work through them. But you can't solve a problem unless you accept it as true. So again, acknowledging the potential challenges that we may have, I think is also
One
really, really
thing that I
important.
really like pay attention to is like understanding like I'm always the adult. Like even when I think about the future and the girls becoming adults, like I am always gonna be their elder. It's not ever gonna be like this back and forth bicker kind of like energy. Like if the girls have a problem, or I can sense it, I'm gonna like ask and like approach them like a mother figure. Like I'm not their mother, but like I care about them enough to, and I care about you enough to like make sure everything is kosher. So that's like one thing that I think about, and I spoke on that because it makes me think about what you said about thinking about the future. Like I've seen these problems arise, I like look and like take things into my mind and my heart, like, okay, this may possibly be something that may happen, so let me make sure I have some understanding right now, so when it arises, I don't do things that way. I do it in a different, more peaceful and uh adult way. um my mom said I was raised by my
Indeed.
stepdad. I feel like he simply treated me like his own child. It's just lovely when the other parent can treat you like blood doesn't even exist. Oh my God, babe. There was this one time when we were talking, and I think it was about Luke's football. And I was just like, I guess it was a game or something that you couldn't make it to. And like I was like, really, like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It was either a game or a practice. And you were like, no, like, because like this is how I would show up if he were like really, really, really my own. And I was just like, oh, super guac 3000. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Somebody said we have a blended fam in a way, but my husband raised my oldest son from 5. Congratulations, happy anniversary! It's our move-in anniversary. Thank you so much. It's in 3 months, I think. Ashley's talking about the manipulation. It looked like buying my affections and talking stuff behind my back and lying about me and my sister to put my parents further against each other. That's weird energy. I don't like it. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Ashley. It takes a village. It does take a village. I've had to face some challenges marrying a black man and being faced with my privilege firsthand and the reality of raising my babies, who I just see as my babies, but realizing that the world won't. Mm, that's a whole different perspective. And thank you for sharing that. I thank everybody for sharing their perspectives on here. And I'm sorry you got to deal with that. Um, just like being a mom to like black children is like really scary sometimes. Okay, babe. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Your turn. What's next?
I know. You're fine. You're fine. It's great dialogue we're having. But yeah, so with the notion of acknowledging the challenges, um, I think we could transition into, what, some of those challenges for us might look like. Um,
Ooh, I want to
you
start.
can go ahead and start if you want. You want me to pop it
Also, if you want to
off? All
join at
right.
any point, please just, if you have something that you want to say, just request. Okay. How do you all go about collaborating with the other parent? Which parent? The parents in the household, or our parent, or the kids' other parents? Clarify, and I will be able to answer. Um, okay, the challenge for me was accepting that we came from different worlds and different kind of cultures. Like, I didn't say this one last night. I had some time to think about it. So, but like, I feel like you and the girls, y'all are more like, if y'all don't know somebody, then like y'all don't know them. You know, I feel like you guys are really cool people, but you aren't as like open to like relationships and stuff as like me and Luke, or like even when it comes to like routine, or even when it comes to like rules. So it was a challenge for me to like accept that we had to find some way to like just meet in the middle or compromise or figure out what our new rules were. And it was also hard for me to like accept that, because I'm just like a people person, so it's like really easy for me to like make friends, and most times it's easy for people to be my friend, but it was like, oh dang, this is gonna take some work. So I think that was a challenge. But yeah. What about you?
Now before I go, I just want to say, I mean, I completely understand that perspective. It's definitely, you know, it's definitely more challenging to try and establish bonds with people that are a bit more reserved. It does take a bit more time. It does take a bit more effort in terms of establishing that sense of trust. Um, and I think despite all of that, I do feel like you are doing a good job of trying to meet the girls where they are, and allow space and room for them to meet you on the other end, when they're ready, and not forcing it, you know. Um, and so I think you're doing
Exactly.
really well with that. Um, Welcome. Uh, let's see, a challenge for me, I would say, um, it can be pretty difficult trying to help children
Mhm.
transition or adjust to this kind of
Mhm.
situation. Um, I mean, obviously, adults' lives move much faster than children's lives. And so when you think about children that are, just really attached to or really used to things being a certain way, and just trying to make them understand like this is the new normal, and this is how ideally you would move within this within this new normal. um and so as you know emotions come and go, and just I guess just trying to find the right thing to say
Mhm.
in certain moments when children just really aren't feeling the situation can be challenging at times. I feel like most times I know exactly what to say to my kids and how to say it, when they're, upset about something or just having a tough time. But I feel like with the notion of blending families, there's a bit more nuance presented that I find myself just really having to process and be like, all right, let me make sure I am, giving them, what they need to ensure that their adjustment, because like all five of us are having to adapt, right? All five of us are having to adjust to this new normal, and everybody's just moving at a different pace in that adjustment. So for the ones that maybe where it may be taking a little bit longer, it's like, all right, how do I rather um,
I
help
feel
them through
like
that
Luke
as
is
best I can?
like probably like the one like the least like is having the least trouble out of all of us. But it's also like he's younger and like you said, just has a different personality. But I was just like trying to think about these times that I had to like show up for him. But then he does have his little moments, like that one moment you were talking about when you were like leaving, and he just blurted out what he said. Do you care if I shared or what? Or what?
Oh,
Jamal
yeah, go
was
ahead,
just
go
like
ahead.
literally like walking from the kitchen. I don't know if you were taking out the trash or something, but he walks past Luke and Luke was watching TV and he like yelled at Jamal like, Jamal, you're never gonna be my stepdad. Is that what he said?
Yeah, yeah, that's what he said. It was just super random, super out of left field. And, I didn't even respond in the moment. I was in my mind, well, what did I do? um, but but with stuff like that, with moments like that, and and I've said this to you before, like I tend to go
Mhm.
by his actions and not so much by his words, understanding that he is, only 5 years old and that there may be times where he says things and, you know, it either just may not be what he meant or maybe there was no ill intent behind it. Um, but yeah, I'm more so focused on his actions and the energy that he has, when he does come around. Um, but yeah,
Got
that was a really
a question,
interesting moment.
honey. Okay. So the first question is,
Okay.
how do you all go about collaborating with the other parent, the one that's like not in the household? Yeah.
You want to start with that one?
Um, I'm more like in communication. I feel like with Luke's dad, I just tell him what's going on, mostly via text now. Um, and just make sure he's in the know. Um, when things are happening in the house, I like tell him and see if he can like talk to Luke so that we can have support. Like there was this time where like Luke was kind of, I guess Luke was having a hard time. Yeah, never mind. When Luke was just like, he wasn't the nicest to Jazz, Jamal's youngest. They would go back and forth, but Luke would just like say things that were totally left field. And so one thing that I did, like we talked to him, but one thing that I did was asked his father to talk to him so that we could all just be on the same page and he could hear the same message in each household because it was really bothering Jamal and it was really bothering Jazz. And I want the house to feel like a home for all of us. And so I was just like, we can't do this. Like all hands on deck. So really just telling them the important things and keeping them included in the things that you feel like are necessary and important.
Uh, yeah, I would say all of the above pretty much hits the nail on the head. I mean, that's pretty much what I've done with the girl's mom as well. Um, I'm just making sure that, that other parent is aware of any, potential changes. Um, and yeah, I think I've enlisted the help of their mom a time or two on some things um, that I felt were some challenges as well. But yeah, just making sure that line of communication is open. I think that issues tend to arise and stuff like that when people are being left in the dark about things they probably shouldn't be left in the dark about. Um, but uh,
Y'all know I got a
but yeah,
dream.
yeah.
Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like when I first came into this relationship, I was definitely on my Jada Pinkett. Like I was definitely like me and your baby mama and my baby daddy, we gonna all be cool off top. If you need me to pick up the girls from school, just let your baby mama know. Like I was just really like ready to jump head first in. But then we were reading this book, which we'll tell you about later, that just says like it takes time. But my dream is like one day we can all go on a vacation together, all of us and everyone's spouses, and yeah, just have a good time for the sake of the kids. Like, how awesome would it be for like the girls and Luke and everybody, even Janaya, just to be in a space where we all can just have fun. Like, that's thinking. It's actually millionaire thinking, billionaire thinking, because they don't think about this stuff. They just take their whole family. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be on that millionaire, billionaire mindset, and I want my family to go on a family vacation with everybody, and I want to take shots with the girl's mom, and I just want community. I want a village. So pray for us, y'all. It's another question. When is a good time to introduce your children to someone you're dating? Oh, you can answer that, honey.
When is a good time? It's a great question. I don't believe there is a right or wrong answer. It's hilarious because I think this was the thing that I was like most anxious about. Um, and again, also another one of those things that I had to communicate to their mother, you know, um, which she was okay with. But I'm trying to think, when did we? Like, I remember the day when all the kids had met. Um, I don't quite remember how
It was
long it was. Do
maybe,
you?
wasn't it after we became boyfriend and girlfriend? I, I,
Yes,
I would say it
maybe.
was in
Sorry, go ahead.
June. Cause I, Dexter said, "Do not take the X on vacation." Ah, hey, I'm more of a like let love live. Like if Jamal was like that, like no, I'm not trying to do that. Then I would listen, but I'm just like, okay. But sorry for interrupting. Um, yeah, I think it was in June because I
Yeah,
remember
it's all
coming to
good.
you like, you, what's going on? Like we've been together for almost 4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, I do recall you being more more open to that at the time. I think, but I guess to answer the question though, I feel it's a good time to introduce your children to someone that you're dating. If you feel like I guess if you feel like it's somebody that you are going to take seriously. Um, when we think about the notion of dating, I feel like there's levels to it. It could be something just very light, very fun, very casual, and it could be something that's at the other end of the spectrum where it's like, okay, we are doing this because we intend on being together for a long time. And so I think once, that level of intention is set, then, any time after that might be okay. Um,
As a
yeah, that's
woman,
what I would say.
I would say do not introduce your kid to anyone until y'all had conversations about like making it official. Like until you are like so sure that this person is going to be your lover. Like I've just had experiences where like I would introduce Luke, and if I could go back, I would not. But I just wasn't, I had never done that before. I had never dated with a kid before. And, so I would say don't introduce your kid to someone until you like know that this, like in your heart, that this person is going to be serious about you. The reason why I trusted Jamal so much, because like I was really like done with introducing Luke to people. But like the reason why I trusted Jamal so much is because we have been friends for such a long time. And then like you like let your intentions be known. So I was like, okay, we like each other. This is gonna go somewhere. I don't remember how you met Luke though.
Um, I don't remember the exact moment either. I feel like it was just a time where I was just coming over to the
Mm.
house and he was there. Because I know I met him um, before you had met the girls. Maybe, a handful of times
I
prior.
love all this
But
transparency on your live. This is half of it. Thank you.
the
Build
transparency does what?
communities. Hold on. Oh, I can't. My hair not cut. But it says it on the back of my shirt. Okay, let's move on. If does anyone want to join, feel free to come up here. We definitely want to welcome and make sure this is a community conversation. Um, Okay, babe, what's the next question? Another challenge, or are we moving on to? I think we should move on to positives.
Yes, that is it. So obviously, when you think about the idea of blending families and just a lot of things that surround the idea of relationships in general, there can definitely be a lot of focus and attention on the negatives and the things that can go wrong. And so, I definitely wanted to uh, shift the conversation to some of the, more positive, more fun aspects of blending families. So, um, as far as positives go, the thing that really jumps out for me is the notion of, I guess, the notion of community, the notion of extending this village as it pertains to raising our children. Just having just more people, more love, more time and energy, more resources to ensure that you know that they get it taken care of. I think I know this was yours, but I'll say it and then I can turn it over to you. But just thinking about Luke,
Mm-hmm.
being an only child, and now there's these, these two of the children that he's able to, play with and have fun and learn from, because kids learn, a lot from other children. They tend to be a lot sharper when they spend, a good chunk of time around other kids. And so, it's really interesting watching Luke pick up and learn certain things from them. Um, but yeah, I think about how my family has received you and Luke. I think about some really cool things that your family has done for the girls and some ways that they've shown up for them.
Hey,
I think about Ashley.
the
Shout out to
Ashley.
Ashley, who who the girls really appreciate and admire. Um, but I think, yeah, yeah, for me that notion of extending this village is extremely
Mm-hmm.
beneficial.
I think the positive, actually, that's a good one, honey. Thank you for sharing. Mm. I think the positive for me is I found mine today. It's like when we're all together, it just feels to me like a pack of wolves. Like we just rolling deep. Like I love how deep we be rolling. Um, I feel and I love like our chemistry when we're all together too. Um, like I was thinking about the time where like we like came up with nicknames for each other and the girls were like, or I don't know if this is one, but like the girls called me fun and they like called you like did they call you boring or stern or something? Yeah.
Yeah, boring.
Or like when we just all having conversations or like when we were playing the game, and Reagan was just winning and beating us. Like I just really like the moments that we spend together and are just laughing and having fun when we're sitting on the couch with each other and just chilling. Like I like when we're all together and we just have that energy of it just feels safe to me. So I think that's a positive for me is like how many of us there are. I really enjoy that there's five of us and then what else did I say? I don't know. I just like experiencing things too. Like when we take the kids on the little field trips and stuff, I just like seeing them navigate with each other and navigate the experience. And I like how we tag team them. I don't know, like, um, so yeah, I mean, it's gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep having more experiences, more positives, maybe more negatives, more triumphs and whatever. But like, I don't know, I just feel like, this is the crew to do it with, you know.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Um, the how would I phrase it? I guess I'm just thinking about the importance of time and all of this and the role that it will play or that it will continue to play as we continue to blend our family. It's definitely, a slow cooker situation where, it typically takes about 5 to 7 years to, be able to, seamlessly blend a family. And here we are just now starting to come up on year one. So, acknowledging and understanding the fact that there will be more challenges that will ensue, as well as more aspects of this that I'm sure will be absolutely amazing. But, just keeping the end goal in mind and yeah, I guess just doing our best, even when we don't feel like it, just doing our best. I know that's how I'm always thinking, just like, all right, as the leader of the household, just making sure that I'm, keeping just kind of keeping my finger on the pulse, just make sure I always have a somewhat of a decent idea how everyone's feeling, and when issues arise, just being able to help everyone navigate through them and get things back on track. Um, I mean, it's not something that I have a huge issue with at times. So I just think about, if like 3 out of 5 people in the house are, going through something, I'm like, all right, like, how do we, what am I going to do? Let me figure this out. Um, but no, it's great. It's great. I have, the highest of hopes for us to, seamlessly
Yes, leader of the
blend.
household. When you want to lay your little mane down, I can support you, honey. Ashley said, what's the next family goal? What is something you guys want to improve on as a family? I'm ready for us to like go on a vacation together, all 5 of us. I would love that. That is like a really great goal. I want to see the kids just like explore and see a whole new city, explore a beach, like or like us experience being in a hotel together. And then like something I want to improve on is just like maybe not taking things so personal. I still struggle with um like like just last night I was telling Jamaal like I don't know if they like me. He was like it's not that. Well, no, I didn't say that. But like just like not taking things personal, understanding that people have their personalities and not everybody is going to be all in your face and up your butt. And that doesn't mean that you're a problem. It just means like that's just who they are.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think a family vacation is definitely on the to-do list. I am outnumbered in terms of of wanting a pet. So, and the reason that I'm outnumbered is because like I know how this goes. Everybody else in the house wants a pet, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to feed it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." But as soon as we get a pet, slowly but surely over time, the responsibilities of the pet are probably going to fall on me. Um, so I guess it's just a matter of me feeling like I'm ready for that responsibility. Um, it's probably when we can pull the trigger on that. But I would say that that is something that's really been swirling around in my head for a while. Um, and something that I would like to improve on. Um, I guess I would like to be less stern at times. I really don't like having to raise my voice um, with any of the kids at all. Granted, sometimes they just kind of take you there, or they're just not listening. So it's like, all right, like you're gonna hear me now. But that's something I want to improve on. I don't like having to raise my voice with anybody. And so, just making sure I'm intentional about finding other ways to get their attention. Yeah, that's something I'd like to
um,
improve on.
Okay, this is the last question, and then if nobody wants to hop on, we're gonna kind of wrap the conversation up. But Ashley said, "What do you guys do to bond with the kids that aren't biologically yours?" Mm-hmm.
Want me to take it? Well, like I said earlier, Luke is pretty straightforward with his interests. Um, Luke and I can talk about superheroes or watch the Avengers or Spider-Man or Iron Man or any of the Marvel movies, right? Or TV shows. There's lots of moments where um, we're watching TV, and he'll just come sit right up under me and check out an episode of something. Oh, what day was that? Sunday. We literally just sat on my phone and was just watching like funny Spider-Man videos. Just people dressed up in Spider-Man suits doing a bunch of just random stuff. We probably did that for like
Mm-hmm.
20, 30 minutes just scrolling. Um, and Luke also likes to play fight. And so, I mean, I don't engage in that with them a whole lot. But every now and again, he may be watching TV in his own little world. I'll pick up a pillow on the couch, give him a quick little bloop bloop, you know, and, we'll get it in real quick. But, he really loves to play fighting stuff. I feel like that's a love language for him, just being
Mm-hmm.
physical. So yeah, those are, a couple of ways that I look to bond with Luke.
I think I bond with the girls. I feel like through gifts, like I like to like buy them gifts or like do little stuff. Um oh yeah, just like bought a picture for their room. Like I just like getting them stuff that I know that they're gonna like. Um I watch TV with Reagan sometimes. I just talk to them and like see how they're doing and ask them questions and like try to curate different conversations. With Jazz, I feel like I just encourage her a lot. I feel like she just really loves gymnastics. So anytime I see her flipping or something, first I tell her to not flip on the couch, but then I tell her like, "Oh wow, you're so good," and just really talk about the future. Like I feel like she really just is just in the gymnastics, and I just like talking to her about that and encouraging her to like keep that dream. Um, I feel like a lot of the reason why I encourage us to get out the house a lot is because like the girls just always like talk about being bored. So like I just like use those opportunities to just bond. We used to make videos. Like I used to tell them to teach me TikTok dances or like we used to make reels for my page. But well, that's one thing I really have to work on. Jamal is just like really good at like being intentional about that stuff. But me, like because relationship building comes so easy to me, I'm not used to having like to be so intentional. So like that's one thing that I want to work on is like being a little more intentional. Well,
Yeah, no, all of the above is great.
what you said,
Yeah,
babe?
spot on. Oh no, I was just
What did I
complimenting
do?
you. Oh, just in what you were
Oh, you're
saying.
so
I was
sweet.
saying it was all just very spot on.
Okay, thanks, honey. All right, y'all. So the reason why I wanted to have this conversation about blended families is because I think it's important for us to be intentional about it. Jamal, honestly, has been like the captain of making sure that we're intentional as hell. I'm intentional as well, but I feel like, he's been leading that shit. One book that we read that really kind of like helped us, we read a little bit of it. Jamal was about to finish it, but I kind of like started straggling is building love together and blending families. And it's so funny because like before we read this book, I was telling Jamal like I just want us to blend. I just really want to. I just want to. And in the book, like one of the first things, like on the first page, this man was like, "Don't force the blend. You can't force it." So that was really helpful. So if you have some questions or you're one, oh, and it also helped me like with like my experience with my dad's family, like just how I approach it, and just showing me like there you do have to be intentional with blending families, and if someone is not being intentional, like that's not really good. So yeah, definitely check this book out. It's by Gary Chapman. He's the author of The Four Love Languages. And I think that when you are invested in your family, you know, whether you're blending, whether it's your children, whether it's not your children, you're just making the world a better place. You're creating a space for children to grow in a loving environment. You're creating an environment for yourself that's just full of love and compassion and peace. And sometimes not all of that, but it starts in our home. So if we are intentional about our homes and the families that we're blending, you know, I don't know. I just feel like I just want the kids to grow up and feel good about themselves and feel good about, you know, where they came from, you know? So, yeah, be intentional. You got anything you want to say, honey?
I guess my last words would be, well, first, I think this has been a great dialogue. I appreciate everyone's comments and feedback and questions and things of that nature. Um, I guess I just want people to know that this is doable, that this is possible. You know, I think that it is a very scary situation to contemplate going into for a lot of people. You know, I know it was that way for me initially. Um, but, you know, I hope, you know, that we've been able to provide a very grounded and realistic perspective of what blending a family can look like. Um, I think that representation in this sense is kind of few and far between. Um, but yeah, like it is,
Mm,
it's doable.
I love
It's doable.
that
Very
doable.
possible.
It is doable. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming on Moments of Clarity today, babe. Thank you for joining me today because I know that, you know, you're just so sweet. Um, you guys, don't forget next week we will not have an episode of Moments of Clarity. We're skipping next week because I gotta go to this lore event. If you want to join me there, I'll be telling a story. It's at Bar Granada. It starts at 7 p.m. It's free. So come and take a shot with me and listen to me tell a story. It's a brand new story. I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to figure it out. So, see y'all the week after next.
Mhm.
Bye.